Welcome back, friends, for the second half. From what I understand, as I was standing up, Connor said, "All right, guys, I'm going to discuss my secret strategy," and then I just got back, so I don't know what Connor's secret strategy is, but I can't wait to find out.
I mean, I did tell you about it before.
I mean, you told me something. You told me some
not so secret
Look,
plan.
it's
Okay.
fine for you to have a secret strategy. Okay.
Okay. I didn't tell you the whole plan. It's true.
Okay. It's okay to have a secret strategy, Connor. Hit me with it. What's the plan?
No. Fight me.
If you want to fight Mick,
now,
that's fine. Please fight Mick.
I can't tell you now. It's secret. You gotta encounter it in the wild.
You gotta earn it, AP. You gotta earn it.
You have to role play it. Okay.
In the
Sure.
meanwhile, I think Bolt's a fun-looking guy. What do you guys think?
I love him.
Like how run
Yeah.
down you've made him.
Well, it seems like you were saying he was sort of,
Yeah,
a little bit
he's
run
the
down.
shitty nephew, of course.
Yeah, no, I think he looks fantastic.
There was a complaint. I want to let you guys know. First off, I'm not the one who has Connor's forehead at the top of his camera. That's actually just the way Connor has his camera position. It's like 30. There we go. Wow, the screen was like 30% a monitor, and then 30% no Connor. Okay, we got extreme Connoring right now. And once Connor's done doing that, I'm sure he'll tell us what the plan is as you exit the prison of El Barad King.
My bad, guys. Yeah.
Sorry,
There you
Connor, they were blaming me for your mistakes. You should have just went with it.
What's new? I mean, the plan is to go to the Drow camp. I'm going to the Drow camp to full circle our Mass Effect discussion.
If that were true, I would always refer to Ash as Prince or Hyrule or 50 other names that would never mention your first name, because your first name is something that you enter in. No one ever calls him John Shepard.
That's true. I never changed my name or my appearance every time I play. It's default. If they didn't want me to play it that way, they wouldn't have provided a default. I don't believe in customization.
I mean, default female Shepard ended up becoming insanely popular for Mass Effect 3.
That's true. That's why I never got past like character creation in Skyrim. It's just like there's too many options. Tell me what the default is.
I don't know. Wow. I've played Skyrim twice, but I still haven't beaten it. I keep getting to the same part and getting bored.
I am a sucker for character customization, so you are just preaching that.
I'm sure that you're a fan
faith.
of Black Desert Online with its infinite combination character.
I haven't played it, so I don't know.
Boy. All right, so let's have that survival roll. Let's say high roll.
Am I leading again? Okay. Is
You're
anyone
the
helping
one
me?
that says we're going to the camp.
We're going to the camp. Is anyone gonna aid my roll?
Yes, yes.
I will aid.
Okay,
Full
so you have
work will
advantage.
always assist, as long as full works assistance comes with disadvantage on the roll.
Are you serious?
I feel like that would be more in character for him.
I mean, if that's true, then even with Gizmo's advantage, you still have to take the first roll, Ash, which is 13. You think you've made good headway south. You exit the forest and you come. It's completely unnatural. There is a line, a straight line, where the forest ends and Badlands begins. We're talking scattered rocks everywhere, orange soil, not rolling hills, but more like plateaus everywhere. Small plateaus that are only a few feet, larger plateaus that are 20, 30, like actual plateaus that are 100 feet tall. There's no clear path or tracks through here.
So I try and look around and see if maybe, it seems like this is either magical or divine in nature. The creation of this.
Go ahead, make a nature check.
All right.
14. The forest itself, now that you're looking at what you would consider to be the natural terrain of this island, the forest that you live in, the forest that Corsairport is built off of, is either unnatural or supernatural. It's very clearly a creation of a druidic magic. And you've reached the boundary of where that magic ends and where the island, aka the Shattered Plate, begins.
I see.
I
relay that to the group.
Bolt looks around. He gives the Gwent nod for about 5 seconds. And he says, "Well, this seems like a good place to set up camp for the night. I found some interesting new plants I've never seen before, so I figured I'll probably mix them into tonight's stew."
Oh, that's always an excellent idea.
I disagree.
Things interesting.
Don't worry, I'm gonna rub them on my arm, and if it hurts or gets rashy, then we'll throw it out.
Oh, truly a wise move.
We have plenty of food, Bolt. There's no need.
Clever beyond your years.
All right. Well, look. Do we want this chicken?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. As soon as you say that, he choke slams the chicken on the ground, and then uses his big knife to cut the chicken's head.
I'm gonna go. I go searching.
Done like an expert.
Is there any time to do a little hunting?
Yes. What are you looking for?
Small game, you know.
Okay. Make another survival roll.
All right. Oh.
That's 2 natural ones.
He didn't even roll 20 earlier.
Make a Constitution saving throw.
And now you get 1-1. That is some luck. When
you make it back to camp, you realize that above your boot line, you've been stung 3 different times. You're not sure by what. The sting sites appear to have welled up into nickel-sized domes that are leaking out venom, but that your body and your paladinic power has rejected you from falling over and dying from these.
Right, because I have like immunity to something disease.
Yes,
this might be poison.
This is poison. 100% poison. Your constitution is just high enough that you're hardy enough. It'll probably pus up and leak over the next few days, but you didn't die, so you'll probably be fine.
I cast like some kind of poison thing.
Yeah, what do you got?
I thought I had
a spell that's just called some kind of poison thing. He developed it without telling me and added it to D&D Beyond.
Let me take a look at it for a sec. You guys go ahead. Do you talk amongst yourselves?
I am like watching Bolt's preparation just with like awe and rapture.
So he sets out your camping equipment and gets a chicken stew going on. He basically loaf slices up your like everyone's rations and then cubes them, and then puts the cubes into the stew to dissolve and make like a soup base, like bouillon. And then adds like fried chicken meat to that.
It's genius.
He's just like, nah, it's nothing. All right, look, can you do me a favor here, furry guy? Can you stir this every minute or so? I got to get your tent set up.
All right. I'm going to stir it.
It's like the new Pokemon Curry minigame for you.
No, not that.
Did you roll 16 to see how well you stir?
No.
It turns out you're capable of performing basic stir function.
No, I wanted just 50-50. I fall asleep about 30 seconds into stirring.
Wow, great. He begins setting up all of your camp stuff, and when he comes back, the pot is boiling and crusting, and he kicks Fulbrick awake, and he's like, "Oh, sorry, did I wake you?"
Oh, where am I? What's going on? Are we attacking things?
He starts taking all of the overburnt, crusty part at the edge and puts it in your bowl, and then makes a bowl for Gizmo, Ash, and himself that has the good parts.
This is amazing. I love it.
It is
should
awful.
have this every night.
It's terrible. It's black and tarry and hard, and there's no chicken in it.
Is this what we paid all that gold for?
No, that's only the boy
bowl.
against a full pork.
Yeah.
Okay.
You get a good bowl of reinforced chicken soup.
I'm gonna leave my bowl mostly full.
Is this some Final Fantasy 15 stuff? Are we getting some kind of bonus here for this, or
No,
what?
you're eating food.
Ah,
You're not falling over and dying.
so do I have enough time to prepare a spell before we go to bed or whatever?
Yeah, what do you want to do?
I want to prepare Lesser Restoration.
Okay. You're lesser restorationing yourself?
Yes.
Yes. Very well. You've done so.
And is it now gone?
Your wounds.
Useful thing spells.
Okay, so is this camp, our little camp space, is it secure, or is there a way that
I
might
mean,
be able
it's
to...
an open badlands. There's
no. Okay. All right.
So, I mean, your best security is that Bolt puts out the water. Or he puts out the fire before going to sleep so that you're not shedding light in a horribly high amount of directions.
I mean, we could always take advantage of Fulbark's housing capacity.
Oh, would you like me to prepare the tent for this evening?
That might be useful.
I would be happy to. So I start walking my slow spiral, drawing a line in the dirt, slowly cycling in until the hut pops up.
Lehman's tiny hut?
I don't have ritual caster, so I can't do that.
All wizards are ritual casters, right? Like they have the capacity to do that.
Do I have to pick that feat, or do you just
No,
get it as a
you
wizard?
should start with it if you're a wizard.
Okay, yeah.
As a
then I
wizard,
will.
you can
Not all Don't let Connor confuse you. Not all
Yeah.
casters are ritual casters.
all
Wizards
wizards.
are.
All wizards.
All wizards are.
All right, hold on, guys. I gotta go for a second. I'll be right back.
Yep.
All right. Wait, so are you saying the wizards can cast any spells a ritual?
They
No,
can
it has
cast
to be-
any ritual spell as a ritual.
Right. It has to be a certain kind of spell, and it has to be in their spell book as a ritual spell.
Okay, so technically, because I've got a ritual spell identified.
You're an artificer, though.
but I can still do it.
I don't know. I don't.
It's on my spell list as a ritual.
Does your class have ritual
Sorry
spell
about that.
casting? I don't know if artificer does.
Yeah, it might be a ritual spell, but you don't necessarily have the ability to
Okay.
cast it ritually.
Ritualistically.
Ritual casting. You can cast an artificer spell as a ritual. Yes, so artificers do have ritual spells, which basically means the cast time is 10 minutes plus whatever the normal cast time of the spell, and it doesn't cost you anything.
Gotcha. Okay.
So not every class does. For those that don't have it, you can get the ritual caster feat.
But I do have it,
And
so I
so
do
does
ritually
Gizmo.
cast the hut.
Gotcha. Okay. I was gonna say that's a pretty cool feature of the wizard to make them the only ones that could ritual cast or to ritual cast other spells. That would have been pretty cool. All right.
Instead,
But no.
all of you sleep outside. Let's talk about watch. Are you doing watch?
Wait, so we're not doing the hut thing?
You can't cast the hut. He didn't prepare it.
Okay.
Wait, how do I know what I have prepared?
You have to tell me that you have it prepared, and you just said I don't have it prepared. You prepare your spell list every morning, so I suspect that before you go into combat, you're going to want to prepare tomorrow morning.
How do you...
Maybe prepare your spells now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is there a button you click to prepare it? Or just like, I just rattle it off what I have prepared? Knowing is not the same as preparing.
In your character sheet on D&D Beyond,
Yes.
I'm opening the on the tabletop, and then I'm finding Fulbork. That's the other
Manage
guy, Fulbork.
spells.
Okay.
Oh, unprepare. Yeah,
Yes.
it says I have it prepared.
Then you have it prepared. I mean, you're the one that said that you didn't have it prepared.
Oh. You know what? You can't believe anything I say.
So it's under the manage spells under the spells tab.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
So
see
it says you have Lehman's tiny hut prepared. You can cast it as a ritual, so you can
Yeah.
get a hut. It's a 10-foot radius dome, so the 4 of you can squeeze in there. Each of you will have 5-foot square of space.
Right.
Yeah.
So when
But
you
the,
do that, he's just like, "Oh man, all right. Look, let me come back in and bring the take down the tents. I didn't know you could do this. I'll bring the cots and the beds. Just tell me next time. I feel like I did a lot of work."
Tell you
Tell
what.
them to leave it up. Tell them to leave them up. They're good.
Gizmo says just leave it up. It's fine. I mean, what could go wrong with it out here? There's no one to steal it from us.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's tense, so it might give us a few seconds if we need it because someone won't know where we're at.
All right. I'm gonna bring the bedrolls and the cots in. All right. Okay.
That'll do nicely, Bolt. Thank you.
Yep. I have several questions for you, Goldborg.
Yes.
1. Is the interior dimly lit or dark?
It is dimly lit and it is plenty warm because as an old man, I survive on heat.
The inside is comfortable and dry.
Well,
Number 2.
For me, right? Comfortable is relative.
Number 2. What color is it from the outside?
From the outside, I would say like
Black.
a putrid green, probably.
So this kid has to keep going in and out of it, carrying stuff. And he keeps approaching basically a 10-foot semi-sphere, half-sphere of putrid green.
Yeah. It does not look very appealing, no.
I agree. It doesn't sound appealing.
It's a color that reminds me of my mother.
I cannot wait for you, the #1 environmental artist on this show, to draw what it looks like. What are we looking at here now, McComicker? Oh, we're bouncing around. All sorts of stuff.
This is
This is like a little mini dragon, like a kobold.
Yeah. This is Zarek. Dragonborn wizard sorcerer thing of some type.
So he's basically Fullborg, but as a dragon.
Except he's competent.
Yeah. All right, all of you make it inside. Bold is just like, oh, this is pretty nice. Impressive work, old
I have
fuzzy.
one more quick thing. So I want to go back out and cast a magic mouth on the tent.
Yeah.
So 30 feet range, and I instructed just to scream out if anyone gets within 30 feet of the...
Wow, are you literally making a gangster alarm spell?
That's right.
All right. You're using a 3rd level spell to recreate a 1st level spell. Are you ritual casting it, or are you just casting
It's
it?
a regular cast.
Okay. So you are not keeping any watch. Everybody's just going to get a full 8 hours of sleep like a normal human being. Wink, actual humans at home who are capable of getting 8 hours of sleep. Good luck. That's how Geralt of Rivia rolls. That dude could sleep anywhere for any amount of time.
I believe that's meditation, good
No
sir.
nighttime random encounters there.
It's the same thing that you could do in Red Dead Redemption. Just go to sleep anywhere, no fucks given. Man, I don't think his name was Zyrek. Shit, where are my notes?
Just so you're aware, Shep, it costs 10 gold pieces to cast Magic Mouth. You have to give up a bit of honeycomb and jade dust.
Do it. You're made of money.
Do it. Do it.
Now that you know how much money you have.
So how much honeycomb and jade dust did you buy before leaving?
Well, let me check my inventory to see if I've got it.
I'm saying that you could have this. I just want to preface from now on how much you have. This is literally the situation where everyone was like, okay, Jeremy Crawford said that yes, Fjord could cast it, but he would need the blood of a human in order to bind the demon.
All right,
So we know that from now on that's a material cost, the blood of a recently slain human.
All right, I would say I have enough for 3 castings.
Okay, so you bought 30 gold pieces worth.
Yeah.
Well, now you got enough for 2 castings.
All right, subtract the gold.
We can see pretty far into the Badlands, right?
Yeah, I mean, you can get 4 or 5 miles of coverage, but it's
Much
late.
more than the forest.
Yes. Oh, absolutely.
Yep.
No one goes on
No.
watch. The morning comes, and the first thing that happens is Gizmo, your spell goes off when Bolt steps outside to go to the bathroom.
What's up? Are we killing things now?
Now the
Bolt whips out his
API
sword. He's got one hand down his trousers. He's like, "What's going on?"
So AP, I got a question though. Now, because artificers can use their tools as foci,
Yeah.
foci.
Yep, arcane focuses.
Yeah. Do I still need to use that the honeycomb and the gold pieces?
Yes. So arcane focus will allow you to cast a spell, but if something costs money, you still need to expend that material.
Okay.
You do still need that to cast spells that have that.
Okay, understood.
Otherwise, you could get away with casting resurrection spells, which cost like 1,000 extra gold pieces with a 25 gold piece of wood.
Damn straight.
And that's clearly out of line.
Game designer conorhughes working on his new D&D module, and I heard he's being brought in to do D&D 5.5 edition, D&D 5.5.
Shh, AP, that's top secret.
Not anymore. It's been epically revealed on my channel tonight, which is highly watched in the D&D community. What I like is you didn't laugh until I said highly watched, which was the really hurtful part. The really hurtful part. Over here, Connor's drawing some more stuff. He's drawing a dude with horns. He's drawing a woman with flips. He's drawing himself looking away.
That's not me.
Upper right, yeah. Oh, that's totally 100%. That's you. You're just drawing yourself.
Okay.
Who are you drawing? Tell us who you're drawing.
I'm just drawing faces.
Okay.
I did draw. I drew Bolt.
I know.
I'm waiting for more scenes to crop up here.
Okay. All right. What's the plan? Once Bolt relieves himself and it's explained that you're not currently under attack.
We're going to the drow camp.
Yeah? Okay.
Land Black Web.
Make a survival.
Am I getting some help here, fellas?
Yes.
You might not want to accept full board.
Wait.
Yeah, full work is definitely going to try and help.
I'm going to cast guidance on him, so he gets a D4 bonus.
Man, Rob, you were on fire.
Yep. So
This is why I love
1d4.
Gizmo. Yep.
That's 10.
So 10.
You spend more time than you should. You awaken at first light, and you all spend an hour doing your spellcaster thing because you're all spellcasters. Preparing, eating morning breakfast, preparing your spells, whether that requires prayer or looking through a spell book or something like that. It is late. The sun is setting in the western sky when you find the entrance to Clan Blackweb. There are two nearly invisible, camouflaged drow soldiers waiting. Their cloaks and armor make them blend in with the plateau that they have backed themselves up against. The only way you find them is with the spears that they have. They see you approaching and say, "Travelers, you speak Sky Common?
That's right.
What is your business here?"
I have this letter, and I whip out.
Approach slowly. Hand me the letter.
And we have business here, and I do so. I do as they said.
You are an associate of the Cyranor.
That's right.
This letter checks out. You and your companions may pass. Please
Thank
wait
you.
here. We will acquire a translator and guide for you.
How far are we from the camp?
So they're standing next to a cave entrance, and he says, "Where are you going?" There are some outskirts about 20 minutes down. The main thoroughfare is perhaps 40 to 50 minutes at the solid walk.
We're looking for a woman. Have you seen her?
I have seen her. You will want to speak with the magistrate. He is her owner now.
Then I will. That's where we're going.
The magistrate will not see you at this time of night. You will need to make arrangements in the town. We will make sure to pass along your letter. So he gestures for you to hand it back.
I'd prefer to hold on to the letter for now, so I can demonstrate it procure it for the magistrate when I see him.
Yeah, very well. He says something in Elvish to his companion, who then pulls out 4 armbands for you. When you look, they both have armbands that are solid black in color and have a spiderweb pattern in a circle on it. Yours are white with a black spiderweb pattern on it. Where these?
Guess. Do we need? What are these armbands?
My Skycommon is not very good. How to explain this? They will mark you as guests and not slaves.
Can I roll? Can I just make sure he's telling the truth?
Absolutely. You're at disadvantage because of the language barrier.
Okay. That's a perception?
Insight.
Insight. It's 9.
Tough stuff. I mean, he's a soldier. They're blank-faced.
Yeah.
He hands out 4 armbands for you. Bold just grabs one. He's like, sweet. Yeah, guys, we match.
Yes, we do.
Gizmo, take his. Yep.
Yeah, I'll take mine.
The second guard goes down, and the first guard is just it will be perhaps 30 to 40 minutes before your guide and translator comes. Perhaps you would like to get comfortable here.
I immediately fall asleep again then.
Sounds good. Yeah, we'll wait.
I see that your friend is also a soldier. He has mastered the art of sleeping anywhere.
Yeah, that's one word for it.
Where he comes from, he's the best at what he does.
Can I ask where you have come from? I have not seen such a unusual collection of species before outside of the magistrate's court. I apologize, Mr. High Roll, but I don't even know what you are.
I come from the Guzanguzian Empire.
I've never heard of this. I've heard of Guzanguz. All of us soldiers highly regard her. There was an empire. Oh my gods, you are from the Betrayer's Empire. I have heard of this before, but it is a fairy tale. It is a myth.
I try and estimate how far it is from where we are. I'm trying to say it's about this far away from where we are standing right now. So if it's
thousands of miles, right? It's 3.5 weeks by sea travel.
Okay, it's across the Great Sea. That is where the Empire resides.
You should know that getting assigned to sky duty is reserved only for those who require punishment. Traveling underneath the sky is not something people do.
Yes, I've heard it's painful.
Sorry?
Yes, I've heard it's painful. Is that true?
Yes. The sunlight is damaging to our eyes and skin.
So what did you do to earn this duty? You sleep sleep like my friend
I
over here?
apologize if you will not discuss the details.
That's fine. That is your prerogative.
Do you play dragon chess where you come from?
Let me just check if I have a set. I might. I have played it, of course, but I also possess this playing card set. What do you play here?
Have you heard of Gwent? No, he basically introduces you to the idea of Texas Hold'em.
Okay. Have I heard of that?
Probably not, actually. You know, it's the very stud style game where you come from.
So
Five card draw, basically.
I try to learn the game with them.
You hear someone call out in a familiar voice, and he says, your guardian translator has arrived. You may all go in. Try not to sleep in the streets. It would look badly upon the magistrate's grace. So, Ash, I want to describe for a moment what happens. The music turns into smooth, sexy jazz, and we're talking the saxophone goes fucking wild here. As your eyes adjust to the underground environment, there is someone standing in the fading light. You have dark vision, correct?
Yeah.
Is there anyone that doesn't have dark vision besides Bolt? Because Bolt is pulling out a torch and lighting it.
Is it?
Because it's completely dark in the cave.
Is that a faux pas? Like, would that be a faux pas?
Doesn't seem like it.
I've got dark vision.
Do gnomes have dark vision?
The person that you see. Sorry, what?
Yeah, gnomes should have dark vision.
Gnomes have dark
they
vision.
do.
Yes.
Yep, dark vision.
So it's just the blind human. It's Wynn. No hat. Her brown hair has been done into hundreds of tiny ringlets.
Ringlets?
Ringlets. Yeah, tiny ringlets.
Like curls? Really tight
curls. Ringlets.
Okay. I haven't heard the term used like that.
Have you never heard the word ring or ringlets before? Like
the one ringlet is a very important. Yes, ringlet curls. Google it. It's a thing. You can see it.
Yeah, and it's safe to Google at work. No worries there.
Listen, I would definitely say when something isn't safe to Google. I 100% give a straight up notice. She's wearing a very light amount of makeup, which you've never seen before. Pale pink lips. Sleeveless dress. We're talking deep V-line, showing a lot more pale flesh than you've ever seen from her. Slits along the legs up to the hip level. Kind of a tabardish feeling going on. She's wearing a black armband with a red spiderweb pattern, and she goes, "Oh my gosh, you're Prince Ash Hyrule. What a coincidence." She moves forward to take your arm and says, "Oh, I'm sorry. I'm not Wynn. This is just my last job."
Sorry? I don't understand.
She starts dragging you off down deeper into the cave. My name is Key. Well, that's what you can call me. My actual name is quite different. My common title is A Court Unto Itself. I'm a shifter.
So, I don't know. What does Ash know about shifters?
You've never heard the term before.
Never heard.
I should be clear that she is arm in arm, wrapped around you, trying to drag you forward. I know so much about you.
And how do you know about me?
My job here as a courtesan sometimes is called in for my unique talents. I can shapeshift into creatures that I've encountered. And I can also read their memories. Recently, there have been some problems learning more about the creature you call Wynn. So I've been assisting the magistrate in his job.
Can you tell me how she's doing?
Well, she really misses you. And she wants to spend a lot more time with her. That girl is not honest about her feelings for you.
She's always been a very sympathetic friend. I would be glad to see her. Is she far?
She's with the magistrate. If the guards have told me what's going on, you need a guide, not just to get you to the magistrate's house, but to make sure that you don't commit any terrible offenses here.
Yes,
That
please
would-
don't
I could
embarrass
choose a
us.
different form if this makes you uncomfortable, but perhaps you wish to be comforted by this form. I understand that you need to spend the night before seeing the magistrate. We could head back to my court, spend some time together. I could tell you everything you need to know about Wynn.
I'd welcome any conversation that might lead to her safety, but I would prefer if in the meantime you did change form. It might get confusing later.
Is there another form you would find more aesthetically pleasing?
I hear he's very attached to his mother.
No. Whatever
He is
form
an
is
angel
natural to you.
or a witch. I'm not real sure on it.
He says, I don't have a natural form.
How do you spell that? K-I-K-E.
K-E.
Okay. Then whatever form is you find most comfortable.
With you right now, I find this form extremely comfortable.
Besides this form.
Very well.
Could you perhaps look like my mother?
No, I have to meet the creature personally. But-
I understand.
We'll have to make it back to my court so I can change. The clothing doesn't go with me.
So hold on. We're getting guided by other guards also,
No,
right?
I'm your guide.
Okay.
I'm one of the few people that speaks fluent Sky Common, as they call it down here.
Well, then we're going to be in your debt. Thank you very much.
No. So she begins leading you down through a cave network. There are elven markings ever so often indicating which turn to take. You go past several homesteads, essentially carved into the cave. You're on a constant downward grade. You get to what is a open cave, hundreds of feet wide. You could see that there are a bunch of moles and rats in a fencing area, basically just being like what are clearly drow slaves out, like feeding them, making sure that they're healthy, then taking a few like behind a shed and killing them for meat. In that space, built into the wall, are what appear to be 20 or 30 very small homes that people could live into, and then like one larger mansion type area. And he says, well, this is the outskirts of Clan Black Web territory. It's, you know, it's a pretty small city state. I'd say about 2,000 people live within Black Web, but perhaps 4,000 or 5,000 more answer to the city state's call. Provide, you know, the things that outskirts do, food, industry.
I had no idea the city would be so large.
So large. This is one of the smallest of the kingdoms.
That's very impressive then.
How much do you know about the Underdark?
How much do I know about the Underdark?
How much do you think you know about the Underdark? You're a prince. If you felt like this was important to your education at any point,
How common is the Underdark to like the lands, like the lands of Guzengas?
so the Underdark, if you'll recall, the Empire does have a direct connection to the Underdark via the gnomish capital city.
Right, but
It takes a week
separated.
of delving down into the Underdark area to get there, and that city is built at the just above the Underdark. So I mean, they're aware it exists, but they don't have a direct path to get there.
So I'd say I wouldn't know much.
Well, there are several locations where the Underdark runs quite deep. I'm told that it's something the sages call it radiation comes from it upwardly. She begins describing the capital city of the gnomes and says, we can reach what you call your continent via the Underdark. It not only connects this world, but also to other worlds, even other planes. the Underdark is quite close to the surface here. It's basically less than an hour's travel down from our humble city-state. I haven't been there recently because I'm not allowed to leave. But I understand that several of our caravans are being raided in the Underdark. We up here are not like those Underdark drow. They're a very different breed.
What's the difference?
Well, you know, Underdark drow are affected by the Underdark. They become cruel, harsh, ruthless, or more of that, I should say. Violence becomes a available option even to the most placid individual who spends too much time in its radiation. It can twist the mind, and the unspoken goddess, of course, rules over it with her dark power.
And what is her name?
The unspoken goddess?
Yes.
Is there some part of that title that makes you think? It's fine. Don't mention it among polite company. It's Lolth, the spider god.
What do I know about Loth?
Make a religion check.
Okay. I'm great at those.
Are you? I think historically you sucked at them. Just like this, with
Just
a
like
6.
this.
Yeah, I mean, you've never even heard of Lolth.
Okay.
She
Well, that is
sees
very
your
impressive.
visible confusion and says, "We're in a very different world from where you came from. I've seen so much of where your empire is from Wynn. I'd be excited to get away to there one day."
And what keeps you here?
A contract. One that is more binding than I would prefer, but my kind are often bound in such a way, given our unique skill set.
And how do you fulfill or get out of your contract?
You don't.
Ever?
There's some safety living here. I am accorded a high status as the magistrate's favored courtesan, and there are many who seek my favor. As you can see, my Wynn persona is very popular as a forbidden delight among the populace. I've been called upon to act as her several times over the last week.
How long has she been here?
Oh boy, Connor. Okay, the game stops while I go ahead and take a look at the timeline.
Sorry. I mean, I could not ask that question.
It's
Like
fine.
5
We'll
days,
get
right?
there.
I think she's been there like a week.
She's been in there as long as Kaz was trapped in the mountain.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, 5 or 6 days.
11 days.
Wow.
11 days. Okay. And when did you start taking her form?
Oh, 7 days ago, I would think. Can I
What
ask
stops
why
you-
you don't find her pleasing?
She's
She
very
is
pleasing.
very, very
I
fond of
mean,
you.
she doesn't have much body hair. She looks like a little snake. Could you just have that, but more hair everywhere? That would be very pleasing. Like a nice matted fur, right? Like it's really been lived in and enjoyed and used for protection as well as, you know, decoration, like some mud, maybe even a little bit of feces.
I could take such a form if you would prefer when we reach my court.
I feel like that would make everyone more comfortable, wouldn't it?
Fulbart
time.
can go off on his own with her.
Wynn has always been a good friend. She's very
Well,
pleasing in that regard.
It hurts It hurts me to hear you say that on her behalf.
She doesn't value our friendship?
Oh, she values your friendship more than you do.
I value I don't think you understand me. I value her a lot.
Ash,
She's been a great
I don't
friend.
know if you have much experience with, the opposite sex, but I think maybe when we go to bed tonight, I might need to sit you down and have a little discussion about the ways of women folk and how their minds work. And just, did your father ever have this discussion with you?
I'll have you know, Fulbark, she's been in my court for a long time, and we've enjoyed much time together.
So
I spent a lot of time with women.
And let you remain so clueless.
what happens is she gives you a side hug on your left shoulder and whispers in your ear and says, "Oh, Prince Ash." And then she kind of dances back a couple steps and says, "That is the kind of interactions she wanted to have with you, but never could because of your position." And she's giving a very Unwin-like grin. I mean, we're talking smug smirk, very knowing glance.
So, I mean, Ash doesn't. Yeah. I did like sort of.
She sees you in a romantic interest, boy, in a way that you don't see in her, which is fine. I was just hoping that maybe I could nudge things along with her Prince Charming. It's clear that you're not prepared for this. I can see it in you.
My first priority is to save her life. We can talk about other things later.
Oh. You want to spend the rest of your life with her, then?
That's sort of a
Don't want to be separate from her, perhaps?
reinterpretation of my word. I try to get her out of here. It's the first priority. Her safety is my priority right now.
Her happiness is my priority in this conversation.
Do you take such interest in all the people you emulate?
Is there any reason I wouldn't? I have all of their memories. Well, some of their memories.
And how
Wynn's
many?
imprinting is more personal than normal.
And why is that?
We needed more information out of her.
What kind of information are you trying to get out of her?
Well, I'm afraid that is where this particular conversation ends. You will need to speak with the magistrate on that particular regard. I can say, however, I know so much about you, it feels like I know you personally. And not just because I'm reading your memories right now.
So she can read my memories right now?
She says, well, I could transform into you right now, but I'm afraid that this dress would not fit your build. And I happen to like it.
Your dress? Yeah, I prefer you stayed out of my mind for now, at least. If I have any say in it at all.
No.
So that's like out of character. That's crazy. Like so like this character can more or less adopt every single thing that you know. That's insane power. Okay.
She coughs slightly and says, you appear to be in extreme distress. Allow me to explain. Would you stab your own ears because you heard someone talking in another room?
I wouldn't stab my own ears. I'd simply not be listening.
Well, I'm sure it's very fortunate that you can turn your hearing off. I didn't know that Azamar were capable of doing that, although Wynn certainly seems to believe that you don't listen to her on several occasions. Unfortunately, my gifts are not as discerning as your selective hearing.
I didn't realize that our guide was going to be so invasive to our personal life.
What better guide do you have than someone who's making sure that you're not about to kill everyone?
That is true. I mean, you can't fault their security protocol.
That's true. That's true. I would just like to make it to. Are we? So we're going to spend the night here. Is that the case?
You can spend the night at my court. Perhaps
Until
not in the way
tomorrow.
that men usually spend the night at my court, but
So are we waiting till when to speak with the magistrate? What's the protocol?
the morning.
Okay, so we just need a place to stay till morning.
You can stay at my court. If you'd like to make private arrangements, I can see to it, but I assure you that my chambers are comfortable.
What if we wanted to see the rest of the city? This is strange, unknown
I
unknown
am
land to
at
me.
your service. However, I would prefer to change my form as soon as possible to begin with.
Yes, please. That would be preferential.
For you, perhaps, yes.
Remember, something with plenty of hair.
I was thinking Drider.
Drider?
Yes, it's a half drow, half spider.
Oh, that sounds excellent.
Yes, I thought you would like something like that.
Half drow, half spider. Okay.
You never heard of a Drider? Oh
Certainly
boy,
not.
I can't wait to show it to you. I will throw it in Roll 20
I
chat.
drew a
So-
Drider priestess
Oh, okay.
on my Instagram.
So it's like literally like a centaur.
It
but
is drow who have been punished
Yeah.
by Lolth for their failures by turning into a mindless beast.
She doesn't look very mindless. Like this Drider. Anyway. So she does turn into a Drider?
I mean, you reach what is another cave system of essentially farms. This time it looks like mushrooms and potatoes, lily of the valley, carrots, and then you reach a main thoroughfare. So we're talking. Have you ever seen one of those cities where they used to have a waterway canal through them, and then the canal dried up, and then they basically just have like 20-foot dip in the middle of the road? We're talking like 1920s or earlier type stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this place is like that, except it was designed that way. There's like a main thoroughfare road up top, and then there's different stuff down there. But the shops are built into the walls of the place. So it's not like the walls are very far away. And it's clear that this thing is a natural canyon and that the shops follow it. And that the lower shops definitely appear to be of more private discernment. They are fewer in number. The people down there, you see drow that instead of having white eyes like most drow here, they have fully black eyes with slightly glowing color. A lot of these drow are blue-gray skinned in the lower area. And the shops down there offer fancier goods. Cake shop, some sort of armory. The shops on the main thoroughfare are more like clothing or food, the selling of things. Oh, did you already
Interesting.
have a black-eyed guy ready to go?
Actually did, yes.
Interesting. Wow.
Yes. Yeah, and then when you said that, I just added the highlights on the eyes.
It is clear that, at least among the black web, body culture is a lot more prevalent. Tattoos, piercings, a lot more exposing clothing than what you would expect from Corsairport or the standard Imperial world. Lots of sleevelessness. You get to look at a lot of belly buttons and abs. Huge number, massive number.
Everyone in crop tops.
Yeah, basically. A lot of vests. Yeah, it appears that the bands that everyone's wearing serve as some sort of guide. Each one appears to be a little individualized. The colors seem to matter a lot. Do you have any questions for Key as you go through the area, or you're just waiting for her to get back to her place?
Yeah, so I ask her about the bands.
Oh, those indicate your citizenship level.
And what are you?
Well, that's a rather rude question.
What are we then?
I
what's your level of
apologize.
Citizenship.
It is a perfectly natural question for you to ask. Simply, my own status is so unique. I am one of the highest rated slaves in the Black Web domain. I am given allowance to move about freely and take clients, but I belong to the magistrate. In some ways, I am afforded more freedoms than the lowest of the free drow.
So is your armband different than a free drow? Or
Yes.
sorry, is your armband different than a slave drow or a slave?
I am a slave, just not a drow.
Right.
And the slaves, the armbands, the race does not depend on them.
Yes. Okay. So your armband is still a slave armband. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Which was
Would you like to
right?
talk more about my slavery some more?
If that's of interest
She
to you.
gives you the most Win-like face. Sour disappointment. You get the feeling she's more Win than Win at this point. Like, she has somehow become the perfect embodiment of Win.
What is available for sale in these markets? I'd be interested in seeing what's available.
Everything that you could find back in your empire. Food, books, art. The services of a storyteller or a bard. Someone who could read you books if you could not.
You have arcanists down here.
She laughs. Yes, we have arcanists. There are... How should I say this? They number many, but their power is weak. The clan Blackweb has not long lived enough to gather the kind of powerful arcanists that the word drow would normally summon up for someone of the surface.
All right, that's good to know. Unfortunate for you guys, but I'm sure you'll gain power as time goes on.
Oh, well, my understanding is that at the very least, Prince Ash Hyrule is quite a powerful warrior himself, at least the equal of Win, from her perspective.
Win is a very impressive wizard. I would never want to meet Win in combat.
I wanna tell you right now, when you say that, that smirk of smugness reappears as she gives you a side glance.
But
Are you sure that you don't? You know, it's fascinating watching you say these things. I can understand how she's become so taken with you and how you're so oblivious.
He's the ultimate hard catch.
Living through it myself is so different than her memories. I suppose I shouldn't feel praise when you say that I'm impressive, because I'm not her, but I feel like her now. Well, this is my court.
Mm-hmm.
Let me go inside and change. I'll be back out in a few minutes.
Fantastic.
Don't do anything.
So what's her court like? Like, let me see.
It is a portcullis with a guard who raises and closes it. It leads down a hallway, and inside you can see that there's like pillows and a fountain. There's lots of silk draperies. It's clear that there are more rooms that spoke off between columns. But essentially what you would expect of a courtesan's garden type situation. A garden without the plants.
Well, are we going to stay here? Or are we going to wander off while she's inside?
Oh my god. Bolt is just like, he punches you in the knee. Ash. No, Ash.
Oh.
And he's just like, look, I don't really understand what's going on here, okay? But that woman seemed to be throwing herself at you. What is going on? She's so...
Oh, I'm gonna pat Bolt on the back, but like, just wait till she has the fur. Then you're really gonna see something beautiful.
He's just like, you are weird, old guy. That's some weird shit.
Would you take advantage of someone else who had adopted your friend's skin? It would be very strange.
So he's just like, no, forget that. I'm talking about the original. Isn't that why we're here?
Yes, she's why we're here. Look, I've never really thought of her in that way. That's just the fact of it.
All right, he cracks his knuckles. He's like, you don't mind if I take a run then when we rescue this girl? He adjusts his shirt. Can we get a bath around here somewhere?
I look at him and I say, you're not her type.
No. You don't want to ever cover up your own natural musk. That's what draws the ladies in. Let me tell you, natural musk is the only smell you ever need.
Make a persuasion check.
That sound like a commercial.
You know, out of all the players of this game, I definitely feel like Mick would be the one salesman. Yeah, he believes you on a 10. He goes, okay, all right. I've never been into smelling girls, but maybe they're into smelling me. You seem like a very knowledgeable person.
I've been around quite some time.
So Drider comes out.
And I'm gonna like nudge him with my elbow, like, see, I told you.
Black hair, ashen gray skin, black eyes with a blue ring that seems to glow faintly in the dim light of this place. Everything is lit by a kind of phosphorescent fungus, captured in like glass canisters. He says, I trust that you find this form more pleasing, Prince Hyrule.
You look excellent. If you wouldn't mind showing me around your wonderful city here, I would love to learn all about it.
Certainly, you already have instant fans. Okay.
She takes you on the grand tour in the evening light. Is there anything specific you want to know?
Stars in my eyes the whole time. Wherever she wants to go, what are her favorite places?
She will go arm in arm with you. Although her spider legs have to continuously go in front of and behind you. But it's okay. It seems like she's used to walking like this.
Like, it's not my first strider. I've been around this block before.
So I think Ash is going to be taking note of sort of just underhandedly, like military, like the military capacity of this town.
It doesn't seem like they have very much. You saw 2 guards outside, so you have a pretty good idea what their uniforms look like. Mm-hmm. They have the same uniform with a different cloak meant to blend in with the slate and limestone of this local area. But other than that, spears, crossbows, short swords, leather armor. Mm-hmm. Perhaps after seeing a few hundred people, you've maybe seen 3 or 4 guards patrolling. Incidents seem low. You do get to one point where like 4 or 5 people wearing what you've come to recognize as being slave bands are having an argument with each other, and one of the soldiers comes in and like breaks it up, mostly with his spear to like push people out of the way.
And what percentage of the population is slave? Like roughly.
I mean, you are in town and it's late at night. Mm-hmm. So you don't see a huge number, but you get the idea from several locations where there's like a main area and then like a number of smaller doors or archways near it that perhaps as much as 60% of the population is at slavery level of citizenship.
Right.
It does. I mean, you don't see anybody beating slaves or anything like that. Their term for slave appears to be quite broad.
Like it could also be servant.
Yes.
Yeah.
But to be clear, it also means what we would consider slaves as, Americans.
Yeah, okay.
It's very broad term for them.
But would it also be sort of also?
It would
like
cover
a
like
traditional
indentured
serf?
servitude or apprentice would be considered a slave.
Right. Or a serf?
Yeah, a serf would 100% be a slave.
Yeah. Okay.
He will translate any conversations that you'd like. Occasionally, about every 20 minutes, she steps aside to speak with someone and appears to make arrangements. And then comes back and says, I am sorry, Bulwark.
No.
My
Don't
services
let me
are
interfere with
in
your business tonight.
high demand.
All I'm looking for is a nice stroll with a pleasant lady. It has been an honor for me
There
to
are
share
few who favor this
what
form.
time of yours I've had.
I should tell you, though, that this form is genderless, as am I. I am whatever I am required to be.
Oh, no, I understand.
I have
But
many
Thank
female
you for your
clients as
time
well.
this evening. You have many what? What'd you
Female
say?
clients who
Oh.
prefer
Oh,
more
no,
masculine forms, which I can provide.
Yes, that would also be interesting.
I expect I've already had one request for Prince Ash Hyrule.
Well, I mean, I've not spent much time with the man without our clothes on, but I imagine it would be an experience. Have you seen those shoulders? For a human, he's not that bad.
I was thinking of going with something sleeveless that shows off a lot of his abdomen area, like a light blue kind of wispiness to
Ooh.
match his
Yes,
eyes.
you know what I've seen around town quite a bit are those vests that end just under the nipples. Now, I think he would look great in one of those.
You have a unusually keen understanding of the courtesanal arts.
I mean, listen, I've been around a long time. I keep telling people that, and they just mean, I'm old and senile, which, yes, I am. I'm constantly afraid I'm going to forget what we're talking about. But it does come with years of experience. Can you fake just like the slightest sheen of sweat as you parade around as Prince Ash Hyrule? Not
No.
as if he's done heavy work, but
I would need to experience such perspirations naturally.
Understood.
So I suppose you seem to be a stranger to the concept of consent if you're going to be taking my form in the future.
I don't understand what you mean.
Yes, exactly.
He's not spent much time with people who don't think like he is. He's very close-minded about some things.
Yes, I have been inside that mind, so.
Yes.
Have you? Like already?
I've been absorbing all of your memories. And she gestures to the party.
So you take in memories even before transformation?
Yes,
Well, why wouldn't
I've
she?
been passively observing all of you. You talk constantly.
No, I mean, I thought the memories that you discover upon transforming into another person.
Yes,
Those
I
kinds of
gain
memories.
more when I am in their form, a better
I see.
physical understanding of the way they think. It would be unusual to explain this to someone who is locked in one form, but the way that people see and experience things is highly dependent upon their body. Even more than just a creature without arms being unable to interact with things in a physical way, the way that a brain is structured, the way that light is interpreted. Even among your party here, some of you cannot see in the dark. They do not understand the emanations of the ultraviolet.
True. I understand. I think I'm beginning to see what you're saying.
I could more thoroughly understand you if I were to take your form and spend more time with you, but there are other ways I could learn more about you, she says as a drider creature.
I prefer to keep on task. Maybe we could settle into a tavern and see what the local.
My court is not good enough for you?
Well, we'd return to the court, of course, later in the evening, but for an evening socialization to see what this town has to offer.
We do not have what you would commonly consider taverns.
I see. You don't.
Club
Is there no
would be more appropriate.
the club? I see.
It is a gathering spaces for those who are not slaves tend to be cultured with performances, art,
Oh, so
reading,
there's culture, okay.
music.
Yeah,
They
that
are
would
not
be-
the body affairs of the low peasants of your empire.
That would be interesting to see.
Perhaps we
we
can
call
go
them-
to my favorite. I
Yes,
will.
please.
I will take you to it. It's quite near my court. So she leads you on a loop back, and it's clear that there's a lot of natural canyonway under the earth here, and you can estimate you're probably 300 or 400 feet under the earth. But there are carved side passages and also like water side passages that lead off in every direction that appear to lead to private homes or further ranches or farms distant. She uses one such passage to make a loop back towards her enclave, her court, and stops outside of a club where a man inside is playing a lute and singing gently in Elven. And she says, perhaps we can go inside and view some artwork from one of the recent vintages and enjoy some wine at a table.
Excellent idea.
Are you allergic to mushrooms?
Not to my knowledge.
Then let us all enjoy salad together. So when she goes in, they remove a chair so that she can fold her body down and basically become her own chair. And the four members of your party, including young Bolt, who's just looking around like, what the? This guy's living in Corsairport his whole life. This is his first time out of town. And everything is so completely different. Instead of stonework, as many of the buildings here are, they have put a facade of woodwork in place. Lanterns hanging from the ceiling with more of that bioluminescent fungus, a chandelier, what we would consider like a Western 1860s style bar with a sturdy looking drow bartender who, you know, we're not talking whiskey behind the counter, we're talking wines, artisanal wines. There are I think they're called easels, where what you would put a painting on. There are easels set up by each table, and like a maitre d' is going to each table with a piece of artwork, explaining it to you, talking about the artist, and then like removing it and taking it to the next table. Your host, Key, like orders several bottles of wine and mushroom salads for everybody. And the maitre d' comes over and says, and then begins translating through your host, who says he wishes to know if there's a particular period of artwork or artist that you favor.
These are, I mean, this is all drow art, right?
It is all Black Whip art, although I think there are some pieces from some of the deeper clans.
So, I mean, at least as far as Ash is concerned, he's never seen anything like this before. So, this is all strange to me. I would welcome any kind of guide into your culture.
He begins bringing out what is basically Art Deco and abstract art, which appears to be the style of the people here. Lots of geometric shapes. There are parts that can only be seen, colors that can only be seen in the ultraviolet spectrum. So only people with dark vision can see them.
Ooh, that's fancy.
The maitre d' explains everything to you and takes questions. You know, he probably takes about 6 to 7 minutes for each piece of art. He brings it to each table, which takes about 30 minutes, and then goes around with the next piece of art. You know, it's comfortable in here. It's kind of nice.
Yeah.
I fell asleep.
Gizmo, have you seen anything like this before?
Everything is new to me. I haven't seen this before either. So
Amazing.
Well, how much longer is it until morning? Or until drow morning?
9 or 10 hours.
Oh, is that all? Well, are we going to sleep here the rest of the evening? I don't suppose we want to be, too tired tomorrow when we, get to whatever work and stage wink at Ash that we have in store for us here. So perhaps we should retire back to the lovely Keys house.
It's
I
cool.
agree. Yeah, let's go back to her court. This has been a lovely evening, though. Thank you, Key.
I am here to ensure your pleasure. She unfolds herself and begins heading outside. Who are you drawing, Connor? I want to know. Who are you drawing? Who are you drawing?
Yeah, I guess this is the top of Key right now.
The Drider top.
The Drider top, yeah. I don't know. I'm sort of trying to take some of the high culture thing. I don't know.
Yeah, no. I like it. What am I looking at here? I flip over to Mick and immediately it's like, "Wah!"
It's just a face.
But the angle is so weird. All right, let's take a look at Shep. Shep's still refining this beautiful, solemn. I feel like he's an old soul.
I was just doing what I call the black and tan. So it's like my digital ink wash look that I've been working on.
Yeah.
So it's kind of fun to do.
She leads you back and assigns you individual chambers for each of you. As she is heading back to her chamber, as soon as she steps, so each of the corridor ways is covered by like a pink silk, and as soon as she steps through her silk, you can see through the shadows that her body shape changes from spider back to something more humanoid.
And what can I tell if it's Win again?
It is feminine and humanoid. You're not sure if it's Win exactly, but
Okay. I can't discern in the dark, like at least skin tone. If it was
there's
like
a
drow
pink
versus.
silk between you and her.
Okay, sorry.
You're just seeing a shadow of it.
Right.
I mean, you could go barging into her room if you want, Mr. Consent.
No, I will not be doing that. Mr. Consent. Okay. So are we all in the same room?
No, you're
No, we
each
got separate
of you
rooms.
and Bolt all are given separate corridors.
Okay.
It seems like there are 2 or 3 more unused corridors. One of them is very clearly some sort of like BDSM area that Bolt takes an unnatural interest in before being.
What's the theme of my room?
Yeah, it's just like a pillow chamber, essentially. All of them are comfortable beds, very wide, enough for 2 or more people. Lots
Are the
of
sheets clean?
yes, soft plush pillows all
Everything
around.
is in blacklight here, so we would know immediately.
The walls are covered with rugs in order to prevent sound from getting out, but also to spice the place up. A lot of kind of Art Deco style zigzags, V's everywhere. It's tasteful. It's nice.
I'm gonna follow Bolt into the BDMS room and just say to him, "You have no idea.
He's just like, I don't know what any of this is used for.
Idea. No idea.
There's so
As far
many
as-
whips.
No idea."
Okay, I'm going back to my. Is it weird that they don't use doors around here?
I mean, if by weird you mean interesting.
And he as you pass back out of the chamber, he holds some of the silk, and he's like, "Where do they get all this silk from? I mean, it's a super rare material."
It's probably spider silk.
Probably slaves.
So he's just like, "Wow, I think that if we could get some trade here, my uncle could get some very serious opportunities shipping this west."
I hear they use the very small children to do the weaving because their delicate little fingers can manipulate the
my
threads better.
He's just like, "Where did you hear that? I was with you the entire day."
I just assume if they do it like we do up in Goblin Land.
Okay, so you made it up.
Well,
I think these are great people. Okay, you know what?
oh no, without a doubt.
They're
I
also
think they're great
fancy.
people.
And
Yeah.
they have such great
Yeah.
stomachs, and they're so
Uh-huh.
open with each other.
Yeah. Because all the manual labor is done by people who don't have a choice, so they're allowed to develop a wonderful culture. I really think they've got a great system going on.
This is what happens when you own a teenager. He comes up with an inarticulate argument and then stomps off, shouting about how he's right and he owned you, and you know how owned you are, and he just goes to his room.
I'm just gonna send one last look back at the BD mess room and be like, so much fun, and then go back.
We learned a lot about footwork today. I feel like the YouTube comment section for this episode, specifically this one section, is going to be full of 3 or 4 of my fake Grand Order compatriots. Maybe bearded.
So Gizmo, take the look around his corners, just make sure it's kind of secure.
So,
Standard procedures.
I want to offer you guys an opportunity that the court of... I forget the name of this. Court of itself. Court unto itself becomes the new base. So all of your characters basically adventure to and from here and are available as long as we're doing drow-based adventures, because who knows how long you're going to be down here at this point. Is everyone okay with that?
I am.
Yeah,
Sounds good.
I'm fine with that.
Okay,
yeah.
then perhaps next week we'll have Cotton back. Please give all of yourselves 500 experience points.
What? For what?
Because you adventured into a new zone, quite distant and dangerous.
Yeah.
You
And had
finally walked
successful
more than
interactions.
10 feet away from the town.
500, you say? By
Yes,
God.
500. You know how in an MMO, when you discover a new area, the minimap opens up and you get a little bit of XP?
Right. Oh, I know that. Yep.
Let's do some outros. Honor. Next episode is 100% going to be Ash meeting Win again. I hope
I'm gonna
that
have
you...
I want to see that so bad.
I hope that you enjoyed the material I prepared for you tonight.
Right. Yeah. He's been thoroughly laid up. You know, it's going to be a difficult one. I mean, considering how emotive I am normally, it's going to be very difficult to sort of act out that. We'll see how it goes.
I want to see Ash and Win and the Shifter all in the same room.
Who is the shifter dressed
Shifter?
as?
Win.
Oh.
It'll be two wins against one.
double the win, double the fun.
Yeah, I don't even think I'm playing next week. I'm just watching. I just want to.
Oh wow, way to make it weird.
All I did was
weirder
watch
than it already
tonight.
was.
I'm just gonna get up and walk away and let Connor spend an hour describing how he interacts between 2 wins and a hash. I'll come back and we can write a real sick fanfic about it.
That's too funny.
So yeah, there's that to look forward to. That's why everyone should tune in next week for next week's episode. You know,
Party Wipe Games. Thanks for that raid. Connor, tell us about your outro.
yes. So thanks everybody for joining me tonight, or joining us tonight rather. My name is Connor Hughes. I'm a comic book artist. You can check out my book in comic book stores right now at your local comic book store called White Ash. It's published by Scout. Please check us out. If your comic store hasn't ordered it, maybe ask them to. That'd be really cool. We have the first issue came out last Wednesday, and we have the second issue coming out, I believe, next week. So please do so. Yeah, thank you. Rob, let's go over to you.
Hey everyone, I'm robSHEPart. Next week I'll be more participative, but it was so much fun to watch Connor squirm tonight. So it just too much fun to kick back and watch what was going on. Can't wait for next week.
I hope it was at least entertaining, because I wasn't sure if I was actually always doing the right thing there. But
No, I
if
like
you guys
it.
had fun, that's good.
I would say I'm out of practice, but it was good to tag along.
We haven't played in over a month.
Yeah,
In a
yeah.
long time.
Yeah.
So on Twitter and Instagram and Twitch and all those good things, I'm robSHEPart. So come on, stop by and say hello. I'll be twitching this week. So usually midday. So hopefully I'll see you then. Mick?
I'm McComicker. I'm mostly known for following robSHEPart and Connor Hughes on Instagram and Twitch, where they make amazing art. And I just like to show up and cause problems.
And you should all follow Mick on Twitch and enjoy his channel. He's a lot of fun.
I
Great
like
artist.
I
And he's
don't
done some
know,
great
man.
work tonight. You were really pumping out those sketches. They were looking
I
good.
do like enjoy the sketching, but I feel like I just had such a hard time coming up with anything to do tonight.
Yeah, it was a little bit in terms of subject matter. It was a little bit like,
Yeah.
and like doing a drider, like that's a big thing. I wasn't ready to start drawing a drider last minute.
Yeah. Yeah.
But-
So you know what? I'll draw more next week. It'll be fine.
At least we'll have lots of chances to draw lots of shadows, because now we're going
That's
to be
true.
in the Underdark for quite a while, I'm guessing.
Could be.
That's dependent on your choices, but sure.
Yeah.
Rob, are you gonna go live after this?
No, I've actually got freelance this time. So even though I'd like to, I can't do it this time.
Very well. We got anything else to discuss before we move along?
Hmm.
I don't think so.
All right. Well, friends, we're back. We're right on top of it. Can't wait for Cotton to be back and for someone to listen. You guys are gonna have to fill her in. That's all I have to say. Someone is gonna have to explain to her what happened in Discord.
But how is she going to get here? Like that's
All
that's
of the party, all of your extra party members are going to just travel and arrive.
okay.
As consider it like a whole second party. Look, Connor, you know how in video games where you can only bring 3 party members, but when you go to a new area, they're all waiting at the bar for you?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you can
Exactly
swap
that.
out. It's like that. When you get to the new area, they come in right behind you. Or maybe they were in your party all along.
I mean, if it's anything like SNES RPGs, they just jumped into your body. No, takers up. No, it's all good. It's all good. Let's not make it awkward.
Wait.
I feel like that was the theme of tonight's episode, making it awkward.
So I just creme the cream on top.
All I have to announce, friends, is that I have a new show that will be starting soon-ish. It will be like 1 hour long. We'll be recording it on Sundays. It's called BattleTech Oath of Endosteel. It'll be a BattleTech show, of course, about three noble houses, and we'll follow them through the generations as their heirs inherit their mechs and the political machinations that they get up to.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, it's
a bit of a combination of BattleTech and then sort of like the Game of Thrones thing, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Cool.
Yep. We want to tell a grand political story of Irish people beating up Japanese people in space.
Oh, okay. Speaking as an Irish person, I don't know if they got it in them for that. You know?
Oh wow! Well, speaking of someone with Irish heritage, first off, fuck you.
Come on! I mean, really?
Come on! The Irish fight everybody. That's the whole thing about Ireland.
That's true.
The whole island is prepared to defect.
I also am like 3/4 Irish. So
during World War II, the Irish were like, you know what's great? Nazi Germany.
Well, they didn't really. I mean, they weren't. Okay. I'm not gonna go get into that.
They can't stop fighting each other, their closest neighbors, everyone, everywhere. You just made a comic about Boston.
Was there much fighting? Not really.
Are you sure? It seems like the whole storyline's about fighting. I can't tell because I haven't seen the second issue yet.
Gotta wait to find out. I gotta make it.
Oh my god, Connor. I really want to know. Look, Mick is like the only one who still streams during the daytime, and even that's sporadic. I have to do other things for my daytime entertainment. It's terrible.
I'm getting back into the game soon, so you can join Nick and myself.
You mean the game issue 2? Yeah, I get it.
Getting back into the Twitch game.
Yeah,
game issue 2.
Yeah,
I understand.
Well, issue 2
also.
I'm gonna keep doing this because it's too easy.
Yeah, I'm pretty easy.
Wow.
Pretty easy.
Okay. Well, don't tell that to Win. Although Win is you, so I mean, how easy she is up to you. I really like this pretty version of Win because it's so different than the little mini chibi Win that you did the other day. We got like glam Win going on now.
Yeah, I don't even think it really looks like the other version of Win that I did the first time, so I just sort of tried
It's similar to her. It's definitely more similar than the little camp chibi that you made last time.
I like the camp chibi.
I'm not saying camp chibi. Listen, for me, Bearded could draw 100 pictures of Aldana when he comes back, but chibi Aldana will always be the only Aldana for me. Just her like popping up and be like, "It's me." That's it. You definitively defined that character for me. That's it for us, friends. We'll try to be back next week with Cotton, with everyone, but hopefully also with Cotton, and for a good time call. 1-800-KEY.
And free some Win.
We'll see.
We'll see.